how many times has Luka Doncic had a center who he could throw a pass like this to?
And here's Gafford! Welcome to Dallas, big fella!
But Luka doesn't just have one big man who can catch lobs out of the sky, he's now got two of them.
Doncic thinking three. Now the runner. Will slam it down up hard and down.
And when you look at the new look Dallas Mavericks, it's easy to see why they have been one of the hottest teams in the NBA recently. Because not only have they given Luka some lob threats, but to the surprise of no one, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are unstoppable. Just look at this play against Phoenix, where Luka brings the ball up the floor. He kicks it to Kai, who attacks KD off the dribble, draws the entire Phoenix defense before kicking it to Kleber, who swings it to Luka, who fakes the jump shot, crosses over O'Neal, and then glides to the rim. That's what they can do as a partnership. Not to mention, when they aren't sharing the ball, some of the things they can do on a basketball court shouldn't be legal.
Moving the other way behind the back and into Grayson Allen. Oh, what a play by Kyrie!
And Phoenix shouldn't feel too bad, because they were just the latest victims of a Mavs team that is unlike anything we saw earlier in the season, having recorded 7 consecutive wins on the back of not just an elite offense, but an elite defense. And this is what happens when you have players that fit alongside your generational point guard. I mean, Daniel Gafford didn't have his best game against Phoenix, but 4 games into his Mavs career, and he's still averaging a double-double in just 20 minutes off the bench. Oh, and best of all, he's a serious shot blocker. Just look at him on this play. Right here is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the shiftiest players in the league. He gets past Josh Green, but look here as Gaff helps over, and look at the hang time to block that shot. And that's the kind of shot blocking that you're getting nightly from your backup center. Not to mention, Derek Lively's a pretty handy shot blocker as well. But let's forget about the improved depth on this roster for a second and recognize there are 2 players that are going to be the difference for this Mavericks team in the playoffs. It's Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Because despite some of the narratives that have floated around suggesting they can't work as a duo, in 700 minutes together this season, they have an offensive rating of 121 to go along with, wait for it, an elite defense and an elite net rating. Yeah, what everyone told you about this duo was completely wrong. But just before I tell you what makes them so good, let's thank the sponsor of today's video, Sleeper. With the NBA season heating up in the race for playoff seeding, competition has never been more fierce, and Sleeper gives you an opportunity to join in on the action with their daily fantasy sports, where as a first-time depositor, you can receive an instant 100% deposit match up to $500 using promo code 6man, and your parlay could look something like this. Right here you have your enabler with Damian Lillard, who despite his struggles, I would say is pretty likely to get at least a point. I also like a rested Trae Young against the Raptors defense on the second night of a back-to-back. On the flip side, I like the under on Maxi's assists against an elite Cleveland defense, and of course, let's go under on Jokic's points because he's not going to try. So get the ball rolling with Sleeper, and when you use code 6man at sign up, you get an instant deposit match up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Now, a lot of the false narratives around these 2 guys has been centered around their inability to maximize the offense with only one basketball.
These 2 guys, in my opinion, they're the same player. They need the ball, 9, 10, 11 seconds between their legs. Your turn, my turn. I don't think you're going to win like that.
But this is where Kyrie Irving doesn't get nearly enough credit. Everyone sees the wizardry he does with the ball in his hands and just assumes the ball is always in his hands. But that couldn't be further from the truth. He's an elite off-the-ball scorer. Just look at him attack Brandon Miller off the catch here for the floater. And there should be a rule that no rookie should ever have the task of guarding Kai. Because look at Scoot Henderson get absolutely cooked on this back cut. And this is what I mean when I say he's a master of quick cuts and angles. He's practically walking, but the moment Lively spots him, he changes direction in a split second. And everything around Kai's game is centered around throwing the opposition defender off balance. Just look here as he gets the switch onto Powell, and with Powell of the Dwight variety having the ball, it looks like he's going to attack the handoff to the right of screen, but look at Kyrie get the ball, and his knee practically scrapes the ground before attacking the space for the bucket. And to put into perspective how much work he does without the ball, there's a guy who's pretty good over in New York, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with. On average, he has the ball in his hands for over 8 minutes a game. Kyrie averages less than 5 minutes a game with the ball in his hands, which is about as low as you can go for a high-scoring guard, which just means there's more time for Luka to control the ball and do what he does best, which is just dissect teams on a consistent basis. Phoenix have seen this movie 100 times, but it doesn't get boring to watch. Look no further than the start of the third quarter, where Luka completely shifted the game. He started things off by hitting a couple of step-back threes. On the next play, Nurkic decided to show on the pick and pop to prevent the three, or so he thought, as Luka throws it to PJ, who has a wide-open three and knocks it down. And he wasn't done making them look foolish, because just a play later, this time Nurkic doesn't help over, and Luka steps back to the right and knocks down the three in Allen's grill. And just for good measure, 20 seconds later, Luka gets the ball off the catch, penetrates the paint before looking off Allen and finding Green for three. In just the space of 3 minutes, a 3-point Phoenix lead was turned into a 12-point Dallas lead, all from the brilliance of Luka Doncic. But you guys might have heard me mention earlier in the video that with Luka and Kai on the floor, the Mavs have an elite defense, which wouldn't be possible if they both sucked defensively like most people would have you believe. Luckily, I'm not most people. Just look at Luka on this play. Steph gets him on the switch. Luka then does a fantastic job at using his feet and body to stop Steph from getting to his spot before then contesting perfectly on the jumper. And whilst everyone loves to highlight any time Luka gets beat on the perimeter, they never mention the fact that his size is a major advantage when he's playing defense close to the basket. Just look at him on this play where Aaron Gordon has him in the post. He tries to back him down unsuccessfully before he then loses the ball and has to throw up a very, very low percentage fadeaway. But these few examples don't even come close to doing him justice. So far on the season, Luka is number one in the NBA for post defense. He's also very highly ranked for isolation defense and spot up defense. And Luka isn't shy about what he can do defensively either. I'm strong. People don't think that, but I think I have some of the most powerful legs in the NBA. I love it. We said we were going to double Cat, but I said don't double. Let's see if I can get a couple stops. I like playing post. Now, no amount of numbers or film can stop corny meme pages from posting about Luka's defense, but for anyone who actually watches, they know there's been clear improvement. And all of a sudden, the Mavs have a shot at being a very good defense, because not only did they add Daniel Gafford like I mentioned, but they brought in a Swiss Army knife in PJ Washington, who has the potential to guard multiple positions with his combination of strength and quickness. But what makes PJ such an incredible pickup is not only will he give you this level of defense, he's been a consistent 12 to 15 point per game scorer on solid efficiency ever since he entered the league. And that was on the Hornets. He's now playing with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving.
PJ Washington, another welcome to Dallas moment.
And this is what makes him different to the other 3-and-D wings the Mavs have had in the past. He's not just versatile defensively, but also offensively. Just look at him on this play, where he gets the pass from Luka. Instead of opting for the three, he takes the defender off the dribble, uses his strength before finishing strong at the rim. And this versatility is so crucial, because it means he can still impact the game even when his shot isn't falling, which isn't something you could have said for Mavs wings in the past. Now they have a few guys like Washington that can make those kind of plays. Either way, this Mavs team is significantly better than last year's team, and that's scary.